a young lady who is very thoughtful, very impactful, very, very amazing in every sense of the word. She'll be leading the Fireside Chat. She'll be hosting the Fireside Chat. And the topic is Women in Tech, Aspiration to Leadership. Women in Tech. If you are a young lady here, can you please clap for yourself one more time? I'm very particular. I don't like the way you are clapping for yourself. Can you clap for yourself one more time as I welcome Enwongo Cleopas-Akwa. Women, come on. Woman supporting woman. Can you please clap? Can you please clap for my friend? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please, once again, can you applaud yourself for being here? I also want to thank Mr. Hansen and all of the team responsible for putting this up. Interestingly, this is my first time attending the, the conference, and it's impressive. It's mind blowing. Let's put your hands together for the planners of this wonderful event. I don't think you understand the depth of planning. Please put your hands together for them. It's really amazing. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to call on my guests, and we're going to have a brief but engaging conversation on women in tech, aspiration and leadership. My guest today is a first-class graduate of engineering from Covenant University. Please put your hands together for her. It's not easy to have a first class. And she's the managing partner at Assurdly and the founder of Holistic. Please, can you help me bring up Unyime Tommy as my guest for this fireside chat? Please, clap, clap. Give her a first class clap. Give it to her, give it to her, give it to her. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again. We sat together yesterday and today we sat again together. So I've told her that we are going to be together for the rest of our lives. Thank you so much. Welcome, Unyime. So first of all, let's get to know you. Apart from what I've just said, who are you? We've seen a lot of young ladies. As I was coming in, I saw students. Where are the students, please? Please, can you wave and can you put your hands together for yourself? Beautiful. I saw a lot of female students, and I think that's the first thing that clicked in my head. We have more women these days interested in tech, and it's amazing. So introduce yourself to them and the women in the audience. Let's get to know you.
Okay. I think my name is Unyime, or rather, I know my name is Unyime. And I think for me, I would say journey has just been opportunities presenting itself and accepting those opportunities, taking each challenge as they come as a stepping stone. So I think that's what, defined me overall.
Okay.
I think from primary school, it wasn't necessarily going to be tech.
Okay.
Where we all know that all our parents want us to be either doctor, lawyer, or engineer,
Okay.
right? But not necessarily the computer engineer, right? It's always the electrical engineering
Or civil.
or petroleum, right?
Yes.
So I think in my house, my dad actually kind of spread it out. Oh, you are the doctor. Then I think my brother was supposed to be the engineer. My sister was going to be my last born lawyer. And then the other one was also kind of somewhat around the doctor or medical field. But I think what happened, in the course of it, the opportunities I would say, paved the way for me. From primary school, there was the computer education, which was already part of the curriculum from day one.
Okay.
Secondary school as well, it was part of it. I think we were one of the secondary schools in Abuja then that ensured that, computer education was part of your junior YE.
Okay.
So you are not going, right, if you don't, pass computer education. That's compulsory as mathematics. So I think over the years, doing that, it came very easily. Although I put in my jam, it was still the medical field and all that. But I think I saw Covenant University's adverts and I saw information communication engineering.
Okay.
And I was like, I want this course. I like the name. I want this course.
That's nice.
And I would say that parents play a very huge role, in the decisions you make in life. And even if I was changing what I wanted initially, I had a support system who
Beautiful.
allowed me to, take that path. From Abuja, we went all the way to Otta, took the entrance examination, regardless of what was inside JAM.
All right.
I got in, and pretty much that shaped everything till today.
Oh, that's amazing. Please, can you put your hands together for her? And for the parents that are here, she said something very important. Her parents shaped her, nudging her towards where she is today in tech. Now, from the start, she said, Nigerian parents, we are not a doctor, you are a lawyer. If you are not a lawyer, you are an engineer. If you're not an engineer, what else? But the tides are changing beautifully. The tides are changing. Recently, I saw a conversation where parents were saying that if there is a bit of consistency, she wants the child to be a content creator. Honestly, I don't even want my child to be a content creator. But that showed me that there is a change in the narrative. And then, today we have you here. So let's talk about your foray into the work you've done in tech so far. Where did you start from? Are you a coder? Are you a software developer? When we talk of tech is very broad. In fact, until recently, tech always seemed very niche. But yesterday, I was told that tech can be applied to everything, tech in agriculture. For instance, I'm a legal practitioner. And if you ask me, I'll tell you I'm not the most techy person. In fact, I do not like technology to a large extent. It took me a long while to get adapted to so many things. But the truth is, the world is changing. And tech now is a part of our life. So what do you do in tech? Let's get to know that part.
Okay. I wear many hats, right?
All right.
Excluding the developer part.
Okay.
Will I call it of tech?
Okay.
And I would say that don't also be afraid to say no, because how did I get into the career path I'm currently on? I applied for a job. I think I'm actually drawn to names actually, because I saw InterSwitch job advert. I saw quality assurance. I kid you not, I don't know what that was about. But I shall know that it had to do with tech, it had to do with computer. I did not want to write code. I don't have affinity for that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be close enough to it, but not, deep into it. Okay. And it's something I can do, right? And, looking at the job description, attention to details and all that. I think yesterday someone mentioned that women are very good at attention to details.
Yes.
It's very true.
That's true.
So I'm like, okay, so I can do this. And I think I went for the interview, and on the day of the interview, they said, oh, developers move this way. And I was like, I did not apply for to be a developer, right? And then I said, okay, quality assurance and product management move this way. And then that's basically how we started. So I would say, even at the point where, I was supposed to be put into a niche where I did not, feel confident enough to go into, you could still say no and find what you want and still go about it. So I think that's where it all started,
Okay.
Moving in that interview forum. I said, oh, this is what I applied for and this is what I think I can do. And then, I went into the interview and then I got the job. So that pretty much shaped everything.
So quality assurance and product management.
Yes.
All right, that's beautiful. Now let us talk about why we are here. I'm very passionate about, I think everybody knows that a woman carries women issues on her head. Yes. Have you had challenges as a female in tech? Is there anything that has occurred to you, barriers of some sort, because you're a woman in tech? I can tell you a million that has happened to me because I'm a woman, I'm a female lawyer. In fact, let me even give you an insight. When I was called to the bar in 2014, I remember that the first law firm I worked for, my boss asked them, we had a land case, a land dispute. So my boss asked me to head the conference meeting. And when I entered the conference meeting, there were traditional rulers, those big men, that there's always land fights in the villages. So I introduced myself. They told me, Mass Secretary, we are waiting for the lawyer. I'm not kidding you. I was quite young then. So I told them I'm the lawyer. They said, no, we want the other lawyer. But my boss had tasked me with heading it. So I was actually pretty much pissed off. So I went and told my boss that see these people are looking for a male lawyer, not necessarily me. So my colleague went in and told them, if she does not handle this case for you people, no one else will handle it. And there was a bit of resistance, you understand? Can you do it when we go to court? Oh, can you handle it? And I've seen it play out in so many ways. I've seen it play out in so many ways where the first reaction to people, to a woman in a particular position is doubt. Are you competent? But you know what has done for me? It made me work extra to prove my competence. So I don't know if that's the case for you. What are your challenges as a female, tech founder or a woman?
I think it's actually all true because, okay, luckily for me, I would say is I went to an all-girls secondary school, and the way we were treated there, the way we were treated there from day one was to be confident, bold, and like call it, fierce, assertive, right? You cannot be timid. We had one of it as in, so aside our normal day-to-day curriculum, schoolwork, right? We had intense guidance counseling, moral instruction classes. Like there were a lot of extracurricular activities that were just geared towards making sure that you are bold, you are strong, right? Regardless, we're like all, in a setting of all women. And then you could also see, you could see women actually, leading things already because it was an all-girls school. So most of the top positions of the school were women. So from day one, right, that confidence kind of, built in. And then going into university, right, it was an engineering course. So ratio, obviously, I think we're just like 10 girls or so in the class across 60. Then the entire engineering, I think the ratio was very, very low. But, coming from a place where you were already, told you were bold, you were strong, you were brilliant, like basically you were more or less like put like we're on top of the world, right? It did not make that seem like, anybody could suppress you. But also, it also showed that you also need to put in the work. So it was not coming, so even in all those affirmation, it was not coming from just you saying it, right? You put in the work, right? You put in the work. So you are coming in not just as a girl, right? You're coming in smarter than even the average guy that's beside you. So you're already coming, way ahead. So in the workplace as well, pretty much the same thing. Like I said, you have to, so being a girl, right? Like you said, the first thing is doubt, right? So I think I watched a reel recently where someone said that if you were in a plane and the pilot, and they asked you who can land the plane, and and then a guy and a lady, stands up, who would you trust to land that plane? Now, a guy responded and said, oh, the guy is by default confident. But someone else now, so the next response there was a woman, reason being that a woman would not stand up if she knows that she cannot do it. So for a woman to stand up, it means that she's confident enough that she can do it. And that is basically how every woman in leadership, right, pretty much, is, right. And like you're not there just because, right. Yes, we know that there's instances where, you're just getting out of happenstance, but for you to remain there, for you to stay there, the capacity has to be there and you have to show it.
Okay, thank you so much. So you've said something, confidence is very vital for women, wherever they find themselves. So for the young girls here today, you want to be in tech. I think I read somewhere that, I'm pronouncing the name as because it sounds like an Igbo name, Ada Lovelace. I don't know if it's the better pronunciation. I think it's one of the first, this software or coders or something, but I know that she has a very vital foundation in tech to what we now use today, to coding, to mathematics. And there is a movie I watched many years ago, about NASA, to do with NASA. I don't know if you remember the name, where women were like the driving force of NASA's first flight to, I think, the moon or something, or space, yes. So women have always been, but confidence is what will keep us in the game. Or also showing ourselves, working extra hard. Now, the game is rigged, actually, to be very honest, but it means that we need to put in the work so that we can be accepted. Now, one last question for you before we call it a close. And I don't know if you're going to have any interaction, something you want to make an observation, if you allow that, since it's the fireside chat, even if it's a question or something you just want to add. But if you have something, you can just lift up your hand and I'm going to recognize you. Remember that we are talking about women in tech. What opportunities are there for women? let's come back to Akwa Ibom State. When you look at the tech space in Akwa Ibom, I don't know if you've been here for a very long time. Do you think women are taking up the positions they're supposed to? Are you impressed with the output, or are you impressed with the quantity of women? I don't need the word should be quantity, but are you impressed with representation of women in tech in Akwa Ibom?
Um, well, I'm not very vast in this environment, right?
Okay.
But I think it's not even necessarily an Akwa Ibom setting, as it were.
Okay.
Recruiting, right? When you recruit, you can actually even tell from the influx of people you see. I think I have projects today where I can have like 10 developers. In that 10, just one,
Just one is a woman.
just one,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
I can have like, so we're trying like recruitment, right? You can see that, yes, the opportunities are there, but the likely representation is not so, present.
Okay.
So the tech for me is even more elaborate, and I don't think location is even a barrier anymore.
Okay.
Assuredly grew because of COVID. I would say for a certain that it grew because of I'm able to work remotely today because COVID happened.
Okay.
And which means that I can be anywhere and deliver for anybody, right?
Okay.
So long as you know that you can do that, you can do it. So your location doesn't matter at all, but you have to be competent enough to be able to demand what you want, which is I want to remain here. So let's bring it down home now. So you need to first of all, I say, figure out what do you want to do.
Okay.
There is a lot, right? I mentioned I did not write code. I do quality assurance today. I do project management. I do product management.
Oh, wow.
There's cyber security. There is product designers. There are even UX. I don't necessarily know what they do.
Okay, UX
But-
UI. I hear the word UX UI.
So basically, they are not the designers, but they kind of define how the user journey should be, and
Okay.
if it's accessible, like putting all those things into play. Is
Okay.
color aligned with people? So they are just very niche. Like specializations, right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that you must know how to code. And even in the business you are doing today, there are technologies that can enhance it, make it faster, for you to deliver the same thing, even twice the time or less the time rather. So it's more or less you opening your eyes to the opportunities that are out there, being open-minded, being available and present in the places where decisions are made, the
Okay.
opportunities are available,
Okay.
and you don't come. So for me, I work mostly with people who are entry levels that eventually build out. So my funny enough, one of my products delivery leads, it's from Akwa Ibom.
Okay.
But from the most of it, it was not about where you are from. It
Okay.
was more about can you do the job?
You're
And
competent
Are
enough.
you competent enough?
Okay.
And at the entry level, it's only more or less is what I call it. It's consistency
Okay.
and commitment and character that you really need in your entry level. Every other thing in terms of competence and skill can be learned. It's not hard.
So you can learn on the job.
You can learn on the job.
Beautiful.
But what any employer is looking out for at that very day one is that are you consistent?
Committed.
Are you committed? Do you have the right attitude to work? And every other thing comes on. So it's not so when they say tech, it sounds very,
Very passive.
very massive, but it's something that's very approachable, very doable. And as you go along, it gets easier and easier and easier.
All right, that's beautiful. Please, can you put your hands together for her? Please. Thank you. So, piggyback. So, yes, we have 2 more minutes. Does anyone have anything you want to add? You're a young lady here, you have a question you want to ask her. So, she is like, for those that are just coming, because I'm seeing new faces here, she's the managing partner at Assurdly, and she's the founder of Holistic. Beautiful. So, what do you do at Holistic? Let's talk about that. You found the product. What do you do at Holistic so I do not forget?
Okay, Holistic was vetted from Assuredly.
Okay.
So it's more or less optimizing the process. So that's why I said that even if your business is not maybe tech focused, it can be a tech product and enhance or make your process more efficient.
Okay.
So we were looking for a product management or project management tool, as it were, since we are like an agency that work with other companies,
Okay.
and these other companies have several tools they use. documentation is in different places. You're working with different clients per time. We just need a place where everything can just be in one place. So that's basically the holistic.
Like a bag.
It's like
you can find everything inside.
Exactly. So, I'm looking for the last update that went out last week. I'm looking for what this feature would do, or what exactly are we were doing on this project. Like all the things you need to know for that particular project is sitting in one place, so that for us internally, that's why I said it was built for us internally.
Okay.
It was more like an intranet where if I'm onboarding a new team member, I don't have to start looking for where are all the things that you need to know about this project. I give you the link, you have an access. And then in building that, realize that, okay, it's not just for us. I don't think we're the only ones, having the same issue. We think that other people would have similar, and then we just make it open for everyone.
All right. I think you are very impressive, and it's so good to have someone of your type representing us outside there from Akwa Ibom State. Please, can you put your hands together for Unyime Tommy? I want it to be rousing. Put your hands together for her. Fallon was so that we are done for the ladies here today. It's not going to be easy, for honest. No, it's a dog eat world. It's a dog eat dog world, and we are living in very capitalistic society. So, what you have to say to in your field today? So we have students from around our pilot areas who are interested. What do you have to say to them? Like a parting shot of some sort, encouraging them so that when they leave here today, they can remember that, Unyime Tommy came for the parenting page, getting 25, told us this. And maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, they can pass it on to someone else. What the last word?
I'll say it's possible. Okay. So whatever you find yourself do, or whatever you want to do is possible. And then I would also add the past is the vehicle and also our best life today. Okay. Whatever your hand finds doing it well. You won't even see it anywhere. But I would say that I was actually a reception before I went to industrial.
Your receptionist?
Yes. Right, so I don't say that whatever your hand finds doing it well, because it's in that doing that someone sees the diligence next, and then would give you more opportunities. Opportunities come there and find you.
Thank you so much. So there will be asked to insist that someone in his words, someone asks questions or any recommendation. So please, you have to ask. Oh, I have a lady. Please, can you go on? Is that a lady? Sorry, I'm not like that, so I can't see now.
Let me see. Okay.
Okay. It's beautiful to chat here for this beautiful young lady approaching us. So your name, what you do, who you represent, and then your question.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ruba. I'm actually a legal practitioner.
Oh, my fellow colleague.
My mission was I've noticed in tech that yes, we have been occupying these roles now, but I'm worried because there are very few, and it turns out that I can't be seen and passing the baton to those that will occupy these roles. So, like our host here has intimated, we need representation. So my question goes to us. How do women interested in this particular area move from this entry level to space of leadership, having the likes in you by them, and you are able to show proof that I am moving along this line and I have the woman behind me that is doing it separately, so that we are able to provide instead of pushing continuously.
Thank you so much. Are you in tech, apart from being a legal practitioner? Oh, that's peaceful. Please push us together for God.
I would say, so mentorship plays a big role.
Mentorship
Plays a big role, but it's a two-way street. I cannot want it more than you want it for yourself, right? If you want it, then you have to put in the work. It's not just, this is the curriculum, go and read it. No. There are sometimes you may have to take pay cuts. There are sometimes that you may, have sleepless nights. So I tell people that, tech, nobody would die. But unfortunately, people might die because if someone is using your product and they cannot make payments in the hospital, somehow, you've affected that person.
Yeah.
And there are days where it's not all rosy. There are going to be days where it's, you are like, why am I doing this? Or you have to be committed to what you are doing. So mentorship plays a big role. And I would also say organizations also play a big role, meaning that the way you set out your organizational structure, growth structure has to be very objective, not subjective. And if you pay attention to it, you would see that the people that are doing the work are doing the work. So I know that most startups today, you try to find out, people don't pay attention to performance management and all that, but I think it's something that needs to be paid attention to because people are doing the work. Some people are not loud, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Some people are not going to be on LinkedIn, sorry. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. Like, so people say, oh, you have to, I think you need to be visible in your career, but if it's not you, it's not you, right? And then, but, if within because you're working with somebody, you're not working alone. The good thing about tech is that you are actually never working alone because it's a collection of people that, build together. So it means that in that collective, right, people should know that you are competent enough, you're good at what you do, and they will advocate for you where time. So people recommend people for other jobs, right? So that's where, so wherever you are, you need to, set the tone of, okay, I am good at this. You are confident, like we already mentioned, you are competent and you're consistent. You cannot be high today and low tomorrow. And then, find someone, you can work with or that can be your mentor. And if you find a mentor, please, don't hand it all over to them, right? You have to also show up. Also show up, right? They could give you something to go and do or learn or pick up, or you could even come with your own suggestions, right? In fact, it works easier when you are the one coming with your suggestion because these mentors are either leaders in their own, they're very busy, and they're busy people, so they cannot be thinking of creating stuff for you. But if you come in with questions, and you're always available when they respond to you, you're taking the feedback. Trust me, they will be more than willing to, keep pouring and pouring.
Okay, that's beautiful. So Udwak, for like she said, mentorship. So if there are women here today in different tech positions, you should not be the only woman in the room. Simply, as you're climbing, you carry another lady with you. You invest your time in them. You invest your resources. You can pay for a course for a fellow woman. I mean, I've seen it done in different places. You can mentor a fellow woman. I'm sure that Youth Hansen, we talked about it yesterday, mentorship, creating hubs, female-led hubs. We have Start Innovation Women. I think I was an early part of it many years ago, yes. So I have a little bit of tech background, yes. And from that particular thing, we had a lot of women, who are now in tech. So we need to now expand that, add to it, and then we'll see it done. Please, one last question and we are done. This time, because I'm gender-friendly, a man. Even though on a normal day, I'll not recognize you. But for today's balance, a man, any addition or, question?
Oh my God.
Am I seeing a hand? Oh, please, please, please. The man with the cap.
Let me get
Yes?
you. As a man, I recognize you. I don't want to stress you to come here. I'm going to come to you.
Okay.
Man to man.
Very much. My name is Emmanuel, the CEO of Paid Work of Victory Consult into cybersecurity and cryptocurrency.
Oh, beautiful. Crypto. I like to.
My concern is about the rural women. How you intend to carry these people along? Because you cannot just lead at the center. You need to carry. How are you going to carry? Because the level of literacy about ICT in the rural areas is below average. How can we carry that along?
I love that question. Mr. Emmanuel, do you have an interest in politics? You're a politician? Oh, that's beautiful because that sounds like a political, something. But please, over to you. Let's answer. What do you think can be done for women in the rural area? And we talked about this yesterday, So in your own capacity as, all of the hats you wear, how can we bring up more women in the rural area into tech?
I think still on yesterday, I think someone said that, the way the mind can be open is if the belly is full.
Okay, sorry, can we make it louder?
Okay, so the way the mind is open when the belly is full.
Yes.
Right? So you cannot come and be telling me to do this and that if you've not fed me first.
Oh, yeah.
So the rural areas, yes, they need to be exposed, right? They need to be able to also be in almost level up as well. But for that to happen, right, it goes beyond tech.
So it has to be policies.
It has to be policies to say, okay, how do we make this, and how do we make their life better? Because if I want to teach you tech, you need to have light.
Oh, light. And light is the big one in Nigeria. Okay.
So if you don't have light, how do I, teach you? Because if anybody wants to teach, either, because it's even, because I believe that if they have that access to light, access
Tools.
to tools and internet, for instance, right? It doesn't matter where any of us here is, we
Okay.
can pass that knowledge
So
forward.
this is where government policies come to play. That's excellent. So we are giving as a charge right now. You are here, you are in a political position, or you are heading a parastatal. One of the ways that you can actually advocate for women in tech is to actually create policies that enable this. Youth Council is doing something already, where she takes them tech to the rural part. She mentioned yesterday the schools they've gone to, and some of those schools, they don't even have libraries, no seats, so it is holistic. So anyone here that's presenting the Commissioner for Information or Education or the Governor, this is the charge to them. Make policies that encourage more people into tech, especially women. Thank you so much for your time. Please, can you put your hands together for Unyime? And also, thank you so much, Mr. Holly. Thank you, Start Innovation Hub. Thank you, Akwa Ibom Tech.